The rumble of motorcycle engines echoed through the small mountain town like distant thunder. It was late afternoon, the kind of golden hour that made the roads glow and the shadows stretch long. At the far end of Main Street, outside Murphy's Diner, 8 motorcycles lined the curb, shining beneath the sun. Their riders, tattooed, leather-patched, rough-looking men, stood sharing jokes and stretching their legs after a long ride. But the peaceful moment shattered in an instant that a scream tore through the air. Not just any scream, a child's scream. The bikers froze. From the corner of the street, a little girl, no older than 8, came running barefoot, her cheeks streaked with tears and dust. Her small hands trembled. Her breaths were sharp, panicked. She clutched a torn backpack against her chest like a shield. "Please, help me. He's coming. Please, please help," she cried, stumbling toward them. Every biker turned. Their leader, a broad-shouldered man with a silver beard named Hawk, instinctively knelt down to her level. Hey, slow down," he said softly. "Who's coming?" But the girl only shook harder. "My stepfather. He's coming. He's going to take me back. Please don't let him take me, please." The desperation in her voice sliced straight through them. Behind her, at the end of the block, a battered black truck turned the corner at high speed, its tires screeching as it swerved. And that was all the bikers needed. Hawk stood tall, eyes hardening. "Boys," he growled, "we got a problem." Inside Murphy's Diner, the bikers guided the girl to a booth. Her tiny fingers wouldn't stop shaking, not even when Angel, one of the Kinder bikers, placed a warm cocoa in front of her. "What's your name, sweetheart?" he asked. "Elila," she whispered. Hawk sat across from her, elbows on the table. "You want to tell us what happened?" She looked down, lips quivering. "He's my stepdad. He doesn't like me. He says I'm a burden." A tear rolled down her cheek. "He locked my mom in the bedroom, and then he yelled at me to get in the truck. He said he was taking me away for good." The bikers exchanged looks, dark, furious looks. "I jumped out at the stoplight when he wasn't looking," she continued, voice cracking. "I ran as fast as I could. I saw your bikes and thought maybe you could save me." Her shoulders shook as she sobbed. Angel placed a gentle hand on her back. "You did the right thing coming here. You're safe now, kiddo." But suddenly, bam, the glass door of the diner shook violently. The towering man, drunk, furious, red-faced, slammed his fists against it. "Lila, get out here right now." Her scream pierced the room. Hawk stood slowly, calm, controlled, terrifyingly steady. That he nodded to his crew, blocked the door. 8 bikers moved like a wall of stone, placing themselves between the door and the terrified child. The man outside pounded harder. "That's my kid. You hear me? Give her back." Hawk opened the door just enough to stand in the frame. "She ain't going anywhere with you," he said quietly. The man snarled. "You're making a mistake, old man." Hawk didn't blink. "Son, you just made one." The man lunged, but 2 bikers grabbed him instantly, twisting his arms behind his back. Others formed a circle, blocking his escape. Inside the diner, Lila watched with wide eyes, fear fading into the tiniest flicker of hope. The battle isn't over, but stopping the stepfather was only the beginning. That Lila's mother was still trapped at home. She might be hurt. Hawk's jaw tightened. "We ride." The bikers escorted the stepfather to the sheriff's office, where the deputies immediately took over and slapped handcuffs on him. Once he was secured, Hawk returned to his bike. "Angel, Tank, Rooster, you're with me," he ordered. "We're checking on her mom." They didn't waste a second. The engines roared to life. Lila insisted on coming, terrified something worse could happen if she wasn't there. Hawk let her ride with him, secured safely in front of him. The bikes thundered toward the small, run-down trailer on the edge of town. The house was silent. Too silent, Lila whimpered. "She's inside." "I know she is." Hawk banged on the door. "Ma'am?" "It's Hawk and the boys. We're here to help." No answer. Tank stepped forward. "Stand back." With one kick, the door split open. Inside, the air was thick, dark, dusty, suffocating. The bikers stepped through cautiously. "Mom?" Lila cried out. A weak voice came from the bedroom. "Lila?" They found her mother lying on the floor, wrists bruised, eyes swollen. She'd been trapped, starved, and shoved around for days. Angel knelt beside her, voice softening. "We got you. You're safe now." Lila threw herself into her mother's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. The mother clutched her child tightly, crying into her hair. I thought I lost you. I thought. You didn't, Hawk said. Not on our watch. They lifted her carefully and helped her outside into the sunlight she hadn't seen in days. The hardest part, but even after rescuing Lila and her mom, the challenges weren't over. Point one. They needed shelter. The mother had no money, no family, no car, nothing except her daughter. Point two. The stepfather's friends might come looking to. He was known in town for running with the wrong crowd. Point three. Lila was traumatized, barely sleeping, clinging to her mom's shirt. Her spirit was fragile. The bikers met in a circle. Hawk spoke first. They need protection, and we're going to give it. No one objected. For the next week, the bikers took turns guarding the small rental house they set up for the mother and daughter. They brought groceries, fixed the broken doors, installed better locks, and even set up a small bed with butterfly sheets for Lila. At night, she would peek through the window and see a biker sitting on a chair outside, sometimes reading, sometimes sipping coffee, sometimes just keeping watch. Every night, she whispered to herself, I'm safe. They're here. Healing slowly as days passed, Lila began to smile again. She drew pictures for the bikers, crayon drawings of motorcycles with little hearts floating above them. Angel taught her how to use walkie-talkies for fun. Tank baked her cookies. Hawk read her bedtime stories when her mom was too sick to do it. The bikers weren't just protectors. They became family. Point one evening, Lila approached Hawk with a small paper in her hand. It was a drawing of her, holding hands with the entire biker crew. Across the top, she had written, My heroes. Hawk, the man who rarely cried, looked away quickly to hide the tears in his eyes. The final stand. But one night, a truck sped past the house. A man shouted from the window. Tires screeched. Hawk and the bikers took off immediately, following the truck until it reached the highway. The men inside were the stepfather's buddies, drunk, angry, and looking for trouble. The bikers surrounded them. No weapons, no violence, just presence, power, unity. You leave that woman and child alone, Hawk warned. You bother them again, you'll be dealing with every one of us. The men backed off fast. The message was clear. Lila was no longer alone, and no longer helpless, and no longer scared. At a new beginning, the sheriff visited a week later with good news. The stepfather was being formally charged for abuse, unlawful restraint, child endangerment, and more. He wouldn't see freedom for a long time. Lila's mother cried tears of relief. The bikers stayed with the family until everything settled, helping them find a safer town to move to, helping with paperwork, moving boxes, and even escorting them on moving day to ensure no one bothered them. Before leaving, Lila hugged each biker, squeezing with all her tiny strength. When she reached Hawk, she whispered, Thank you for coming when I needed you. Hawk knelt down and tapped her chin gently. Kiddo, you ran to us with courage. You saved yourself. We just rode in behind you. The message this story isn't about bikers looking tough, that it's about people choosing to be protectors when the world turns cruel, that it's about standing up for those who can't stand for themselves. It's about hope showing up in the unlikeliest of forms, that it's about kindness, loud, fearless, unwavering kindness. Because sometimes heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they ride motorcycles. Call to action for your YouTube channel. Be kind always. If this story touched your heart, let us know. Backhand index pointing right, comment below. What part of this story moved you the most? Your thoughts mean the world. Yellow heart, and if you believe in kindness, courage, and standing up for others, subscribe to our channel. Be kind always. Your support helps us continue sharing powerful, inspiring stories like this one. Glowing star, be kind. Be brave. And as always, be kind always.